Hi, I'm Michael Choi, Examiner with the United States Imperial Society of Teachers of Dancing, here to talk to you about amounts of turn, specifically how we measure turn between foot placements. In the ballroom technique, we measure turn from one foot placement to the other, because we assume a supporting foot that has parallel alignment with the direction the body is facing. In the Latin American or rhythm techniques, we measure turn from the starting and ending positions of the body, because we use a turnout of the foot in most dances. Turn is measured in fractions, using the lowest common denominator. If this sounds too much like school, well, don't sweat it. This all has a real-world application. Let's first get the theory, and then we'll practice. This would be 1/8, and rather than saying 2/8, we'd say 1/4. You can hold on to that idea though, because it will be helpful when we get to actually measuring our turn. This would be 3/8, and this is 1/2, and so on, until we get to one turn. 1 full turn. Don't sue me, Sesame Street. Remember, when we talk about foot positions, we are giving the placement of the working leg in relation to our supporting leg once that working leg reaches its final destination. Likewise, we also measure the amounts of turn between foot placements. If we took step 1 forward and then made a quarter turn to the left following with a forward step on step 2, that would look something like this. In the ballroom dances, we are often swinging along one line, so taking step 1 forward and then turning 1/4 to take step 2 side is a very common type of movement. Notice again that the turn is measured from the foot placement on step 2, with the leg and foot of the first step allowed to turn with the body as the foot placement is achieved on step 2. If we wanted to stay swinging along that one line but turn 3/8, we wouldn't call that second step a side step. We would say that second step is side and slightly back. If we took a side step on step 2, but still made the 3/8 turn, that would look something like this. Both figures are useful for different purposes, but I illustrated to show you that we don't have to be fixed into one version. Remember how I said we'd use those eighths to help us later on? Well, it's later on. Let's say you know where you ended up, and wanted to figure out the amount of turn. You could backtrack and count 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5/8. There's that count again. Seriously, don't sue me, Sesame Street. Lastly, you may notice that I didn't talk about measuring the amount of turn on step 1. Even though we typically commence our turns on step 1, we'll still call that a forward step, and not get into measuring it, since it's less than 1/8 of a turn. This way we can be precise about our directions, but not overly pedantic. Thanks for spending this time with me. For more technique explainers, please like and subscribe to Big Apple Ballroom.